What it do, good people? We back at it. What is this, episode 11, 12? Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast, YouTube show, podcast, a little bit of mixture of both. Always got my lovely people with me. They come dressed to impress, ready to go. Sounds like somebody might have a hot date or something going on a little after this. Going down my dog Rashad, got his trucker hat on. The black redneck, as he call himself, San Diego's most popular, most experienced, most valuable photographer, the MVP, Rashad. We got Ray D.
Hey y'all.
The
Hello
Chicano
everyone.
lover.
Oh, no, he didn't.
I
Girl. I do love Chicanos, actually. Actually, yeah.
know. And of course, we got the serial dater. Always in our heart. Blazing. What's happening with y'all? Valentine's Day next Friday. What y'all got planned?
Huh? Valentine's Day. Huh?
Huh? Where you going, Vanessa? Where you getting flued out?
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Vanessa getting flued out.
I'm celebrating my birthday all month long. I don't recognize Valentine's Day. It's Vanessa Day.
We want to know about Valentine's Day. We talked about your birthday later. Where you getting flued out?
I'm celebrating my birthday.
So you're not going nowhere?
I am.
Where you
I'm
going?
celebrating my birthday.
Where are you going?
Huh?
Where are you going?
Somewhere.
Damn, you can't say what country or city state you going for your birthday?
Oh, I ain't trying to go out to shoot. I really don't want to fly right now with all this BS, but we'll talk about that later. All these, I don't even want to speak that negativity. Plane crashes and all that. We're not going. Oof.
Well, I mean, the plane crash, that was really just
no crashes, plural.
Right. So I was gonna go into them. So the plane crash, the first one that happened, wasn't on the plane, wasn't on the pilot who was flying the plane. They was in their flight path that they're supposed to be. That lady who was driving that Black Hawk, who was flying the Black Hawk, she wasn't even a pilot license yet. Pilot. She was in training, learning how to fly it. And she was flying, I believe, too high, and she was being instructed, but I don't know, she messed up on her instructions somehow and ended up crashing into a plane that was descending that was getting ready to land at the airport in DC. So it's not the plane's fault. It's not something you should be worried about. The other plane that fell out the sky in Philadelphia, that is their fault because the pilot who was flying that plane ended up getting what they call vertigo. So sometimes when pilots are in the sky, right, they'll lose track of direction and they'll think up is down and down is up. And I believe they stalled out, lost control of the plane, and probably try to get control instead of like letting maybe the autopilot handle it or something and try to get it it's stalling. So try to get it to uninstall. And that one smacked and hit the ground. Now that BS with United Airlines and the engine catching fire. Now that's yeah.
Yeah.
But
is that the one in Chicago? Because I know there was one in Chicago recently.
What was that?
There was at least five, like within the last couple weeks.
No, it was only in America, it was only those 3 incidents, and those like back to back days.
That's scary.
That's very scary.
But and then Trump, he tried to blame the plane crash on diversity and inclusion.
Yeah,
but he got rid of it.
That was too soon.
He's such a pompous sack of.
They said, how you figure that? He said, it's common sense. Boy, if you don't, orange ass.
Hey, listen, white America is showing a lot of their true colors right now. That is for certain. You see all these companies with the DEI now that it dropped, all these companies that have backed out and have silently dropped their policies, and people are finding out and noticing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. See how the black people showed up and showed out for Costco. They, we need to show up and show out for some of our own black businesses, but I do appreciate it. Costco, they holding it down, standing true on what they're supposed to stand true on.
They for the people, for real.
What's it called? What was it? Aldi or something? They that store Aldi or something like that. They didn't drop theirs. Oh, y'all ladies are like out there.
Target
Target.
did.
I think Walmart too.
Walmart. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How you feel about it, Rashad?
How do I feel about what? Y'all talked about like three
The
different
drop
things
in
right
the drop in the diversity and inclusion.
now. I don't even know how to respond to that. Me personally, that doesn't affect me, so I can't really speak about that. Like, I don't know.
It's not about you though,
No.
it's about the people. The people. See,
I don't think it matters at the end of the day. You know, if when you're qualified, right? If white people want to hire, they're going to hire you, whether they're labeled they're this or that. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that.
very that's very untrue, but let's go ahead and go down this educational path of diversity and inclusion and why it really exists. Because subconsciously, people tend to hire and promote what they subconsciously familiarize with, right? What you familiarize with the most is what you're going to surround yourself with. So if you're white and you guys are the majority in the population and you're the majority in the corporate world as far as ownership, leadership, management, executive positions go, you are going to tend to hire subconsciously people that you relate to because those are the people that you want to see every day. And that, so even if they're not really racist, it's a product of discrimination, and it can be subconscious, which is why they make all these companies for push this diversity and inclusion training on people because they subconsciously hire their own people and don't give other people that are qualified the opportunity. Sure, you're gonna have some people that's flat out racist and want to just hire white people or hire other races, right? And what's been happening a lot is even with the loophole in that of diversity and inclusion, well, what we'll do is we'll just hire more Hispanics or Asians or something like that, and less black people because then you can say, well, we are a diverse company because we have X amount of people that are minorities, even though your black people might be a half or 1% of the company, which is what happened to me at GoDaddy for a while. We made up like less than 1% of the company. So they went and got a black vice president of talent acquisition to start going after and getting some black recruiters and showing up at places like Afrotech and different things because the white management was pretty much saying, "Hey, we don't have enough black talent on our roster to promote these people." So with not having enough black rosters or black people on the roster to promote, and they're saying there's not enough talent to promote, well, once we take this from being 1% to 5% to whatever, right? Now you have a lot more of them to choose from. So when you're not promoting them, what's the excuse now? So when you take out these policies that ensure that minorities get a fair shot, then who's to stop a company from going 99% white again? But
So let me respond to that real quick. I think where we're headed will be best for black people. Why do I say that? Because we're from what you just said, we're trying to fit into white companies. So maybe if there was more black companies hiring black people, we can do a lot better and don't have to worry about all this stuff, these different clubs and groups and organizations. Um, I'm not, like I said, I'm not really affected by it, but I understand what you're saying. Cool, you know, fit in with white companies or have a rainbow of people. That's great. It's always cool. But shit, I think black people in general are stronger when we are able to work together. So perhaps we can walk away from these white companies and walk towards black companies and or start our own companies. Maybe that should be the goal for our people to be self-sufficient and don't have to worry about these policies.
so two things. One, what does it take to start a black company? Capital. How do you get capital? You have to earn money to get capital. And to start a company, you have to, because I mean, you're going to have some kind of collateral, right? And as black people, we're not really born with that. We don't have land. We didn't have families that left us a lot of things. So a lot of times what I tell people, like, sure, yeah, we need more black companies, but you have to start somewhere. So you start off working somewhere. You can save money through your own personal savings and using your 401k, and these companies will match you and put in, most companies match you at 3%. So 3% of your paycheck, say you was putting $150 a month out of your paycheck away, and they put 150 with you, that's 300 in a year, that's $3,600, right? 5 years at a company, you'd be like over 17,000 or something, right? And you could take that money and invest it in something, right? You could buy a home, you could do a lot of things with it. That's why I tell homies like it's good to have a job to start off. My goal is definitely not to remain in the company and just grow. But the other part of it is some people aren't meant for leadership. Some people aren't meant for entrepreneurship and to be business owners. Some people don't have that desire. Some people just want to go work at a company and get their fair shake. And that's also what the problem presents. I'm with you 100% on let's have more black businesses, black investments, black. But where do you start from when you don't have come from nothing, have anything, or you're trying to get in a job and either you went to school and now you're trying to use your degree, or you're trying to start somewhere and work ground up and you feel like I'm more qualified or I'm more skilled, but I keep getting passed up because I've been there and I've done both entrepreneurship and working for a company.
Yeah, I just never been stopped from reaching a certain level. I mean, I'm 40, I've had plenty of jobs. I've never been stopped to get to a higher position. I've been a manager, I've been a supervisor. I've, done things to where I understand how companies operate. So I started my own, and I started my own with zero money. But that's another topic we could talk about. Once again, you said not everybody wants to be or has the skills. Not everyone's blessed to be an entrepreneur. Some people, yeah, like you said, just want to go to work, which is fine. But yeah, what's the other question you had?
Well, it wasn't really a question, but to get back to this Valentine's Day thing, does anyone have any special plans before I share with you mine?
So mine's gonna be very simple. Young lady I'm talking to, she just wants to go on a high rise, eat pizza, have some wine, and people watch and talk and cuddle and stuff like that. Simple stuff.
Okay.
But but are you gonna get the booty?
Man, I'm to this. Listen, let me tell you something, bro.
I don't hear no square shit. We
No,
don't
I'm
know.
gonna just keep it. Listen, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a big buck, bro. I don't even care about that no more, bro. Like it don't even matter. It don't matter about that no more because it don't matter.
I ain't pressed about it, but it matters.
And one thing I would never do is try to prep for it. I ain't chasing for it. If it's given to me, cool. But I'm just so tired of anything else. I can't chase. I'm
It's
not
Valentine's
trying to
Day.
trick you. I
It's
don't care.
Valentine's Day. It's an
I can drop her
expectation.
off at 9:45, go home and go lay in the bed and be good.
Mm-mm.
That's like me.
It's Valentine's Day. It's an expectation. But what about you, Rady V? You got anything going?
No, nothing.
Ain't nobody praying for
No.
her? Ain't nobody praying for
Nothing
you.
as of yet, anyways.
She still
No,
got a week.
I'm single. So I don't, I I'm single. No, I'm not.
Me too. So look, against my will, against my will, my good brother, my relative, Daryl Sona, owner of the Breakfast Bitch, and his wife, my sis, Tracy. They got the Breakfast Bitch restaurant going out here in Arizona, and I'm being forced to participate in their speed dating
Ooh,
that they're
Oh,
having.
that would be dope.
Now they asked me, and I said no. I said hell no. And they're like, yeah, it could be something like Red Balloon and all this and that. I said hell no. You ain't about to have me on the internet with that bullshit.
With
But yeah, they want me. But it's
I think
like,
you would be a great contestant for Pop Balloon.
listen, they got Marty McFly calling me on FaceTime. Daryl calling me, Tracy's calling me, like, come on, bro, it'd be great. You're this great bachelor. You got this and that going on. You got all this personality and everything. I'm like, hell no. Then what they do? They're gonna make a flyer, put my name on it, put my picture all on it and everything.
What?
Like, y'all ain't shit. So I had to order myself a couple of sport coats, even though I got plenty of them. and order myself a couple sport coats so I can go up in there, dashingly handsome as I am going to be, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to
I
get
hope you ain't talking like that.
going to be a good
Toppity
time.
top.
It's going to be a good time. I'm going to dress
If
well.
you go in there talking about something, I'm going to, I'm fucking square ass, weird ass nigga, talking like a robot. Box, nigga.
No,
You better
it's
talk
going
normal
to
around
be a
me,
good
black box.
time. I'm getting them digits. What did my dude say, house party?
No, you're
I'm going
not.
to get them
It's
digits.
fucking
So
what
I
a
gotta,
masterpiece theater. No.
man, I gotta go. I gotta go. She's my queen to
Oh hell no.
be. I'm about to be in there. I mean, but that everybody, they just want me clickbait. People, they want to,
That's
maybe
so
I'll find
cute.
something
I
cool.
can't wait
Maybe
to
it'll be a
watch
great
that,
time.
right? I can't wait
Maybe,
to see that. That's gonna
maybe
be.
it'll
It's
be a
gonna be
good time.
filmed. Is it filmed?
I think they are going to film it and turn it into something. I don't know if it's going to be a red balloon, but I do have to pick something. So I don't know how they have this all set up. I just know it's speed dating. I got to be there. They're definitely going to make some kind of content of it. And hopefully, they did show me a couple.
That's
What got me kind of
hilarious.
bought in, they would like call me on FaceTime last week and they showed me a couple of chicks that was just going to be on there. And I'm like, oh, okay. Huh. We might can do this. Okay. Little
Oh, that's
jello
so awesome.
pudding. Little jello pudding.
Chauncey, don't be weird going in there. You got to save that part of your person. Be yourself.
I'm going to go in there
Be yourself.
in a
Hey, so y'all
suit.
seen that plumber dude that went on there, right?
Yes, the
He got
turtle.
it. I guess he's on a reality TV show and he fought a transgender dude. Did you
What
guys see any
show?
of those clips? I
No.
don't know. It's like a dating show he's on
So he
somewhere.
bought a transgender male that transitioned to a woman.
It was a man who transitioned to a woman,
Fair game.
but he's
Whooping.
yeah, they went toe to toe.
I'm
Mm.
with that.
Bro, Ninja Turtle looked like he closed his eyes when he was swinging.
Hey, listen, he still fought a nigga. I don't care what you think. And as of now, Donald Trump has ordained that in the United States, we only recognize two genders, male and female. Whatever one you're born with, you're going to be.
Mm.
No more males in prison with women. So, anywho, that's going to be a good time for Valentine's Day. Now, which one of y'all date women or men with kids?
Me. I prefer men with at least one.
You prefer men with at least one child.
Yeah.
How
The
do you
more, not the
feel?
more the merrier, as long as there's no drama.
Okay. So, how do you feel about being a stepmom?
I love it. Because I
So,
love kids, but I hate pregnancy.
so you don't want more kids, and you think it's a good idea for you to be someone's stepmom.
I wouldn't say it's a good idea. I'm not just, hey, I want to be a stepmom. You got any kids?
Or you
But
prefer men with kids?
but,
What's the plan? If you prefer a man with
but
kids,
I
you prefer to be a stepmom.
but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Like
Hmm.
I don't mind it at all, actually.
Okay.
Especially like I said, if there's no drama, yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Absolutely. I'm with it. 100%.
Okay.
I like kids though. I love kids, but like I said, I just don't like pregnancy. So if I can have some kids and they're mine but not mine, that's a win-win for me.
Okay. So what about you, Ness? You prefer men with kids or without?
Honestly, it don't matter at this point because at my big age, most men have children.
You did say on,
Before,
on the internet you just turned 39, so it's not like I'm
yeah,
putting your age out there. I did see you post it.
yeah, I'm 39. That's why I said around my age, like most men have kids, just
You-
like most women. I'm like the anomaly right now, like at my age, not having a child. And it's not that I don't want children, I just don't have them yet. Um, in the past, I didn't really, if you had a child, it wasn't like a deal breaker, but I prefer not to date a man with a child or children only because if things didn't last, then it's like two breakups. I'm breaking up with you and the child, and I love children as well. I work with kids, like I enjoy it. So it's building that bond with not just you, but also your children, and having to not be able to have that relationship with them. Because that's what happened with my what was it? My second, third. I'm like, I can't even count. My third, yeah, my third boyfriend, because I've only been in 4 committed relationships. But my third one,
Or
like child, and he had her young.
that's more than
I was a
me.
huh?
That's more than me.
Yeah, so you can't call me a serial dater.
I be trying though. You don't want to. It's different between us.
Whoa.
You like the Black Widow. You be just preying on your victims, you know.
What?
I be
Anyway,
getting preyed on. It's different.
it's not a deal breaker if they have children or not, and most likely they will have children. So it's not a preference at this point. It's whoever wants me and I want them back.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
like kids.
I know.
Rashad, you and women with kids.
So I don't know. I guess over the past 6 months, I've only been dating one chick. Really, she has one child. The child's father is super active in her life.
How
The
old?
child is in high school or
Okay.
middle school, and I don't have to see the child. I don't have to worry about the child. So that's kind of like my cup of tea.
But how do you feel about playing stepdad?
I'm not really interested in that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that at all.com.
Well, no, I think you
Kids,
guys.
kids should have their own father. You know what I'm saying?
And what about the kids
Uh,
that don't?
so yeah, that's cool for dudes who want to do that. I'm not trying to sign up for that no more. I'll never do that again. You know, so I mean,
So
does that sound harsh?
You
well,
wounded?
so okay, so you like this girl or this woman. If the man or the baby daddy wasn't an active father, you would have. Is that a deal breaker for you? Like, would that skew like how you felt about her, or?
That's yeah, I guess, I mean, yeah, I mean, those are the first questions we ask when we date chicks. Like, is the father active in your child's life? Yeah, he is. Okay, that's some health right there. That's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably no bullshit with you. So cool. If the father's around and y'all working as a good co-parents, that's probably a healthy situation that I'm stepping myself into. When the
Yeah,
child's father is not in and the mom's got bad things to say about the dad and or the other way, it's probably you probably walking into some shit.
yeah.
Well,
So I try my best to avoid women with children whose fathers are not involved in the child's life.
well, this
I
is
mean,
what.
but there's a billion dudes who's gonna step in for me. So
Well, this
don't
is
make me.
what.
I'm not the villain here. Okay, there's a lot of dudes back there.
But this is what
Go
the
ahead. Cat, there's a
comedian.
lot of cat what? There's a lot of cat what?
Captain stepfathers, they back there.
Wow, that's a
Damn
big
it!
problem. My dad is a captain stepfather because my
Damn
dad is
it!
Hey,
a
I'm sure he
stepfather.
was a good. I'm sure he's a good dude. He did his business, but
He
I'm
did his
I'm
big one.
not
He's still
signing up
doing his
for.
big one to this day.
Well,
Yeah,
this is
hey,
what
salute. Hey, salute, pops. Salute, salute, salute.
Well, look, this is what the comedian T.K. Kirkland said. This is what he had to say about it.
Oh, okay? Speaking from experience. Okay, yeah. Got it. Another man's child. That's mental illness. Have you ever tried to do that? That's true. I've done that. Oh, okay? Speaking from experience. Okay, yeah. Got it. It's a mental illness. It's really one of the worst things you could do. Raising another man's child is mental illness. It's mental illness. Explain. Because you're raising something that don't belong to you. That's some horrible shit to pretend. That's like a gay man who wants to be a woman or a woman who wants to be a man. You're pretending to be something that's not natural. And nobody talks about it in our community. Men think that's what they should do. And you know what happens? Financial fucking debt. And then when your money is out, the pressure that's on you, the stress, you end up dying early. And you out of here. And don't nobody give a fuck. And the kids will love you. Yeah, if you're a good person. But there's not strength. You ever notice that you can be a stepfather and the dad, the birth father ain't shit, but they still love that motherfucker like he paid the rent. Right. It's still groceries in the house. It's still they still show love to dad. Because that's their daddy. Exactly. No matter what. Why should you go through that?
I don't want to hear nothing a motherfucker got to say that got 7 kids from 7 different baby mamas talking about, boy, he the one with the mental illness.
Listen, you can't put the same stipulations on a man that it's on a woman. It just ain't never gonna work. But I agree and disagree with him on certain things. I mean, I grew up with a stepdad, and I understand. Like, I love my dad to death, even though he ain't never really been much to me. Still love him to death, and I hear what he's saying. I mean, yeah, he wasn't there, he didn't pay the bills and all that, but I think it's a natural genetic thing for you to love your parents regardless, just because. when you grow up and you know that somebody is your parent, you have some kind of love for them. But I mean, I don't talk to my dad very often. I didn't talk to him for a couple of years, and then we spoke one day through a couple of texts last year, but I still ain't spoke to him. He don't call me. I ain't call him. Like, it is what it is. But but I don't really, I talk to my stepdad more frequently than my real dad. But I grew up with my stepdad, and I love him to death too. And it was never really a situation. I mean, I had my rebellious moments with him, just because I was a young man and you start feeling yourself and your independence, and you don't matter if it would have been my real dad or my stepdad, getting tired of niggas telling you what to do. You think that you more than you are, you still a little ass kid. But other than that, me and my stepdad have had a great relationship, and I had to see hard working come from him. And if I ever blew up and got to all the dough, he would definitely be one of the first people to get a house from CP. So, that is where that's at. I look at his family like mine, his mother like my grandmother. When I'm in New York, I see her. I'm heavily into Latin culture because my stepdad was Puerto Rican, and you know, I've just always been fond of it. So, um, you know, it is what it is. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a mental illness because if you're going to be with somebody with children, especially if you want to marry him, right? Like, yeah, if they have a father that's active and that's around and in the picture, then you release that ring. But at the same time, I'm the father when you absent, right? Like, I would expect a man to look out for my children the same way I would look out for my children. If you're going to be there up under my children got to be up under you because you're with their mother. Because I would, even though if I'm not somebody's little son or daughter is not calling me dad, but I would defend your child and look out for your child the way that I would look out for my own. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I would choose another man's kid over my own child, of course not. That if I had to make that hard decision. But as far as like being able to look out for them as if they're my own, if I'm with their mother and I love their mother, if I love your mama to death and I love her enough to make her my wife, like you're an extension of her, not just a package, but you come from this woman that I love so much. You know what I'm saying? I damn near ain't got no choice but to love you too. But I don't prefer to date women with children though. So um most women with children, and it's not because they just have children. It's one, because they probably a lot of times they don't have the schedule that permits for the kind of attention that I want or need or require. But two, most women with kids, they don't want more children. A lot of times, especially if their kids already older and they had them when they were much younger. Like imagine you had a kid at 25 and you 37, 38. Your kid is already 12, 13. And you done been working out and trying to get your body together. They don't want to have more kids. So I would prefer children. I mean, women without children. But if I was going to marry a woman with a kid, I don't give a damn if the nigga was 20. You know what I'm saying? You're not my kid, of course, but I would look out for you like my own child. Like if you're gonna be around, like if I had you up under me at all the time and we was getting a relationship and you are your mother's child. So, you know, I'm not trying to be your dad, like, because I can't be your father figure at this point. But at the end of the day, like if you need me, call me. You know what I'm saying?
I had a situation where I was dating this guy, kind of what I was talking about earlier, and his it was a crazy situation. Baby mama pulled up, drove all the way down from Arizona, pulled up on us, knocked on the door. He opens the door and she was like, "It's your turn now." Drops off the backpack and the baby runs downstairs and drives back to Arizona. And he had the baby ever since.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy. Just dropped the baby up on it, talking about it's your turn now. And I was like, whoa. So I'm dating this guy, which I knew he had children, but the baby mama was in Arizona. And then now I'm stuck in a situation where I'm like, okay, this is weird because
that's super strange.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was wild. And I remember, just having to adapt and like kind of include her into our little situation. And I already was working with kids at that time, sweet little girl. And I remember one day I was doing her hair and she was like, can I call you mom? And I was like, sweetie, you already have one. Even though obviously she wasn't there, but I was like, you already have one. You could call me, Miss Vanessa. And then she was like, oh, okay. But I'm not going to take away, not even that I don't want to take the role of being her mother, but she has a mother, like her mom's not deceased. It was wild. But that one was a hard one because when him and I broke up, I had, obviously I grew attached to the baby, even though, but yeah, so that was wild. Me personally, like I said, it was, that's why I was like, oh, I don't want to date anybody with kids. But also too, like, it would be nice to, even though I'm getting older, a lot of people are having kids in their 40s. And because I don't have any, I'm not opposed to it right now. But I also understand if it doesn't happen.
You didn't marry her dad then, huh?
Huh?
Why you didn't marry her dad then?
We didn't work out.
Well, why? Why didn't you do what was necessary so that you could stay there and be a stepmother to that child? And
We had our differences. It had nothing to do with the child, though. Like that didn't play a part at all. We just had our differences.
I do understand though people don't like that part because if they break up. But I mean, you shouldn't be so involved in a child's life that if y'all break up, it's one thing to be married to him and then like, okay, we all living together and we have to work in unison and harmony as a family. I wouldn't call it, like I said, I wouldn't call it a mental illness, trying to love something that wasn't naturally yours. I mean, that's like saying every person that adopted a kid is mentally ill because they adopted a child that nobody wanted and left at a fire station. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I can't agree with that.
I've always wanted to adopt a child. I wanted to become a foster mom, to be honest.
Ooh, girl, them foster kids.
Teenagers.
First you gotta get you a foster boyfriend. No,
I wanted to foster boyfriend. I thought about that for a bit, but those kids are very troubled. They've seen a lot. They've been through a lot.
Yeah.
They're very hard to, even a regular teenager with the hormones and stuff is hard to
I know.
regulate. So that on top of a lot of them have mental issues.
Yeah.
They
I
have
have
anger
to,
issues.
and I would have to be with someone. They don't do it to like single. Like you have to be in a
It's a
relationship.
lot of stress on your relationship, though, raising those troubled children. I was gonna say bad kids, but they don't be that. They be troubled, That's what I do on a daily basis, girl. Yeah, I'll be like,
I love it. I love it.
I know. I work with them teens. Yeah,
they wow. They on some euphoria type shit,
But I was thinking about it. My daughter's mom, she be working with those kids. And my cousins, they got group home, and I wanted to have a group home. I want to work with troubled kids. It's hard though, like working with children that you've when you read their case file, you know all the things, the horrible things that people have done to them. So then you understand. And then that's where I think the compassion comes from, because you'll understand why they are acting out the way they are. I mean, been sexually abused, sold for drugs, all kinds of things that might have happened to them, and you're like, you'll end up seeing them like once, because most kids that are troubled, they're really just doing certain things, but when you get them alone, right, when they're not around a bunch of other kids that they're performing for, and you get them by themselves and you talk to them, and you really see how like intelligent and cool, how they have really good hearts. It's just
they just want to be loved. They're just
acting out.
That's all. Yeah.
Acting out as their defense
That's
mechanism.
exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. You'll see that a lot. They just want attention. They just want to talk to you, just somebody to talk to. And they'll talk. Oh, they'll talk. They want to show you stuff. Some of them don't even have brothers or sisters. They just want somebody to just chill with, that's not toxic and strange or not going to flip on them or take something from them or, yeah, that's true. Anyway, I love children. I love kids. I've definitely done the stepmom thing. Me and my ex were together for so long that, our kids grew up together. I came into his son's life when his son was like 7, and he's like, 18 now, my baby. And honestly, yeah, when we broke up, that was the first 100%, 100% the hardest part. It's still hard now. Like my chest is starting to like get tight. I'm like, no, hold it in. You're okay. You're okay. But yeah, that was definitely the hardest, the hardest part, because that was my baby. That was my baby. That boy was with me all the time. And like I said, there was no drama with the mom. it was just a perfect situation. Like so much so that, you know, when he was incarcerated, I would get the son down there every weekend. We was out. Disneyland, SeaWorld, we was movies. He was with me. The dad wasn't even there. He was with me. You know, so that was my baby, and I never called him my stepson. That was my baby. You know, I never called him my son. He has a mom, very
Are
active.
you still able to see him once y'all broke up, or you just
If I
kind of
wanted to, yeah, but he's a grown, you know, he grown now doing his thing, and he, like I said, he has a mom. It's not you don't have a mom. He has a very active mother, so I don't really have a place. You know, it's like it's not really my place.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's understandable. Um, But before I let you guys go, amid all this Trump stuff, you guys are, well, it's kind of in Arizona too, kind of heavy. It's a lot of protests going on right now from LA, San Diego, and all around. Everything from Texas on into California, even parts of Florida. Everybody's worried about it. What does it look like now that Trump did made good on his words? You know, it's a lot of Hispanics that are upset. I seen a guy that was crying, pleading to Trump that his wife got deported and he was
Mm.
begging Trump to not deport her and let her stay. All these Hispanics that voted for the man that said that he was going to export all these somewhat illegal criminal immigrants that are in the country, and now that they're gone, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I kind of don't give a shit because I didn't like the fact that they're getting deported because I would rather them stay and work the black jobs that they've been working and, you know, making some money and take care of their family. Like, you know, I'm pro for it. But if your people voted for this is what you asked for, right? So I'm kind of at standstill now. It's like, you know, y'all wanted Trump. He said he was going to do what he was going to do, and he making good on his words. How does it look out there in California? How is it affecting y'all?
I haven't seen anything
Oh,
personally.
girl, you haven't? You
Well,
have?
but you're in the school system, so that's probably
Girl.
because I work.
Oh, I
with
haven't seen
military.
anything with ICE or nothing like that. No, I'm just talking about as far as the protests.
Oh yeah, no, well, yeah, I haven't seen that.
Girl,
either.
they tore National City up last week because my daughter just started volleyball over there. Anyway, we went to the store last night or last Friday just to grab something from the beauty supply in National City. Girl, oh my God, I was like, what's going on? I thought it was a car accident, but they had the street blocked off. Girl, I'm talking about it was so many Mexican American people with their flags honking their horns in the they like shut down, like kind of like how we did for George Floyd.
Yeah.
But they did it for, you know, in protest of ICE.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, oh no, let me get what we need and get up out of here for some shit go down.
Yeah.
They've been tearing the city down, the National City. That was just that night. I don't know if it was just that night or, like I said, I don't really go over there like that, but
yeah, I haven't personally seen anything yet or heard of anything like of people that I personally know right now. But I did hear about I guess it was a video that went viral that a guy had a shirt on and it said Latinos for Trump and he was getting
Recorded. Got you. Got him. Gotcha, bitch. Ain't that what? What about you, Rashad? You seen anything crazy out there in Cali, or do you even give a damn? I know you probably like, man, that's Mexican problems.
Damn.
I don't have a dog in this race, but I will say this: the same stuff that we was dealing with the George Floyd and all the police shootings, how we got all together and protested and marched and all that. None of that shit really matters. That shit don't do nothing. That's not changing no policies. Like Trump is not going to be like, oh my gosh, there's so many Mexicans going against it. Let me change what I had. No, he's not going to do anything. So
the change of voice.
so
So what's your advice? Run, nigga, run.
what do you mean? What is to my advice to Mexican Americans
To
or immigrants?
Yeah, run, nigga, run.
I mean, hide, you know, I mean, dude, you know, you can only go for so long because, you know, most of these people who got over were processed and dropped and let remain here, were allowed to stay here through the last administration. So they're already documented. They already knew where these people were. That's why it was so many thousands already bagged up. Now, the ones that snuck over here that bypassed Border Patrol, you ain't gonna find those people. It's gonna take years and years to find those people because they're just like any old person going to the store right now.
What it's gonna be is gonna be a
But the
whole bunch
ones
of
that are being bagged up are the ones that were documented by Border Patrol agents.
yeah.
So they knew exactly where they were.
And the ones that came through the border hop, them is the ones right there that you gonna see a lot of racial discrimination. Once they get all these people going on, they're gonna look at them all like niggas. You know, I watched a video the other day too. Try to let y'all go, and they was talking about, I think it was an Asian lady, and she was talking about how the black people, like, it's crazy how we switch up on black people and how we try to look down on them, and they're the reason why we have any rights in this country. We did the civil
Awesome.
rights movement, and that was for every single person, for all these minorities to come up. And as soon as we put them on, they come over here, they distance themselves from the black man, from black people, because they know that the white man discriminates against them. So they families tell them before they come, like, stay away from the niggas. You feel me? Because you don't want to get treated like a nigga. They have a wise saying. Everybody wants to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga.
Yeah, everyone benefited from us in our struggle, even the LGBTQ community, you know what I'm saying? So they gave everybody all of these perks but us when we're the originators of the suffering here.
Discrimination, yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying?
Uh,
So, I mean, they even gave the Native Americans land and
That's
casinos
great.
and stuff. What the
And they
niggas
get a little
get?
check. Ain't
Well,
no
they
check.
gave them,
Niggas,
but you know that
niggas
this
get
was,
a Black History Month.
yeah, but you know
That's
that
it.
they gave
check.
everybody else
Juneteenth.
something.
We should all get at least a cool little 5 bands.
They gave everybody, they gave all of them something because they are the original people who actually own the land. Which, but you know, with us coming and farming the land and turning this country into what it is, we should definitely receive some kind of reparation in some kind of form
At
instead
least
of
free
the.
groceries, something.
I mean, you got to think
Free,
about it.
You
You know,
stole you stole
free
people's
cotton
land.
items.
You stole people's land, give them a little bit of land back and give them casinos, but you stole actual humans from another continent. What are you doing for those people?
you ain't doing
Insane.
nothing. And you know what? I was having this argument with this lady, right?
We should get free air travel.
She
to
was
Africa.
one of them. She was one of them white girls, right? Where she's like, well, you know, all the people that did slavery, they're all dead now. And you know, pretty much you guys should get over it and just start, you know, one of those pick yourself up by your bootstrap mentalities. I'm like, but we don't even have a boot, let alone a bootstrap to lace up and pick ourselves up from. I said, you know, you say all these things, but you guys are all a product of wealth, right? I said, she said white privilege is not a real thing. She was like, I get jobs because I'm qualified for it. I said, but you also happen to be a blonde haired white girl who has an attractive body, and you know, you're an attractive person, pretty eyes, you know, like you are in anytime somebody's attractive, you people want to work around you anyway. It makes the work day easier, get someone something to look for. And then you being white, yeah, it is a privilege. You will get out of things. Like there's no way around it. People are going to look out for who they familiarize with the most. I said, but let's just break it all down to the beginning. You guys came here, you killed off a race of people that were here for the most part. You took all the land, you brought another race of people here to work the land, enslave the land. You didn't give them any equal share of anything for all the work that they did. I said, how do white people get the land after they didn't want to pay taxes? They fought off the British and everything. Well, how they got the land was they gave it away. And the original people, the original white people that was here, the original Anglo-Saxons, they got the land given to them, and then they got to sit on land, and then they start trading, bargaining, you know, with the farming, everything from slavery and everything like that. They started accumulating wealth. You start spreading west, where you know you got Californians and everything being upgraded. Imagine people was getting land in California for hundreds, thousands of dollars or something like that, and they people still own it to this day. I said, so let's talk about inflation, right? Let's talk about a piece of land that used to be $1,000 and now it's worth 1 million, 2 million, $3 million, whatever the hell. Let's talk about the store that we in right now, or any restaurant that we're eating at. Somebody owns this land. The person who owns this land is a recipient of slave owners, slave masters. However it went, somebody owned this land, they sold it to another person to make some money off it to buy something else, and the wealth kept going around in the white people. That's why the wealth gap is so much. How did residual not residual income, how did uh um generational income get created. Generational income is pretty much created from real estate. That's how that wealth, generational wealth, comes from owning real estate. Black people do not own the land here. You guys own majority of the land here, and you passing it down to your families, and you guys are all the recipients of slavery and stolen land. And then you telling us, how did we catch up when we had opportunities to catch up? You shut down our banking systems, burned it down, and to kill everybody who masterminded it. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, and everything else that had their own neighborhoods and Black Wall
Right.
Streets and trying to function, you tore everything down. And then what do? Okay, you make the laws that um, you make the laws that keep black people in prison. You can't say that black people commit more crimes than white people because we only make up 10% of the population. If you guys make up 60, we make up 10, and you guys commit more crimes. We might commit more per capita, but we're only prominent in large cities. And that's across certain cities and states in America. You guys make up 60%. You guys kill more white people than we can kill black people because it's not enough of us, just from a statistical factor. But you guys would get the same exact crime and get less time in prison because the people who familiarize with you, which would be the judges and district attorneys, they're giving you guys lighter sentences. So while we're getting longer sentences, me and you did the same exact crime, went in at the same time. I got 10, you got 5. You're getting out. They're bringing another black person in for another 10. Another one's getting 5, and that's why we're stacking up in the prison system. So if you look at everything all the way around, from all the systems that are created, there's nothing in there. You could look at the school system, right? They created the school system to be the way it is. Why are we all San Diego County? Why in Arizona and Phoenix? Why are we all Maricopa County? Just like San Diego has Del Mar, La Jolla's, and what is the nice parts? Del Mar, La Jolla's. What's the big bridge?
Encinitas.
Encinitas, where's the big bridge? Coronado, and all these areas that are rich, right? In Phoenix, you got Paradise Valley, Scottsdale, and you got your Gilberts, Chandler. You got places where the property value is very high, right? And the way that school funding comes from, it comes from the taxes being paid on your homes. If you got areas in the inner cities and stuff that are mostly apartments or very run down inexpensive homes, the taxes ain't shit, right? And then you got these places where these 4, 5, 6, 7, $8 million homes and all that stuff where the tax is great on that, and they get so much money in their school system in their city or whatever, their county in the city. They get all this money, all this funding that they don't use, all this PTSA money that that the residents and stuff are donating that they don't use. And you would think, well, if we're all Maricopa County, we're all San Diego County, why don't we just distribute the money evenly across the whole city, right? Right. Why would we? But if you did that, everybody would have funding. All the kids would have programs, right? All the kids would have the same opportunities, and you don't want that because you want to stay ahead of the race. So that's why they say, well, it goes off the tax in your city, but we're going to keep the poor people in the hood because that's where they can afford. That's where their Section 8 will cover all the expenses, right? Section 8, you can use it anywhere, but if you're a welfare queen and they got you living at home and making sure there's no man in the house, right? So there's no leadership. Like there's no path for them to get off Section 8 and get better. Everything is designed for you to stay at the bottom. So with all these things from the school system to the jail system to all the property ownership in this country, how do black people get ahead? There's no way to do it. There's not enough businesses that we can start and create because we don't have the capital for it. Sure, Rashad, you started it, but your business style is mostly based for a one person company and what you do.
Education
Education is
and
important.
having God, having structure, right?
Right.
So let me
Where do
tell
you
you,
get where do you
Paulo.
but wait. Let me elaborate on that. Where do you get the education and structure and all that from when the mother is working multiple jobs to support the family and sustain you, and there's no dad because he's in jail, prison, or dead? Where does leadership is where you get the education and structure, and education is passed down from father to son, from parent to child. So if there's not enough parenting going on, there's no structure in the home because you're not there. How do we do it?
Let me tell you something. My family comes from the projects, right? my grandfather, he came from Muskegon, Michigan, all the way to Arizona first, with 8 kids in the back of a van, with only a few bucks because they got tired of living in the hood, right, the ghetto. He did go to school, but they also had bills, had kids to take care of. But education was the only thing that put my grandfather to a different state of mind and a different position in life. What he learned and obtained, he it was actually or was able to use in the work field. And once he got his work, got his jobs, he was able to provide. Same with my grandmother. And then when they come to California, then that's when I was born after my mom, met my father and all that. I remember going to school as a child with my mom. My mom was always at work too, so she did work. She took me to work as well. That's crazy. Took me to work back when College Grove had a mall. I remember that. And then she also went to school down in City College. I used to go with her. Now she's Dr. Valita Jones.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? Three
Yeah.
kids, single mom. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look for excuses. I should never tell someone to look for excuses. Fuck your hardship. There's a way. There's
So,
always a way.
so I'm with you on that, and let's circle back, right? Because yes, there's going to be some people there's always going to be a rose that grows from the concrete, right? And that sounds more like what's going on. So, but your mother had a father, and he was educated, and education is passed down from parent to child, and they instilled things in her that had her do what was necessary to happen, right? Because she had a father that was educated and that brought her in that she got to see work hard, and he was able to find the jobs and do what he needed to do. So you come from a parent who comes from parents who were educated. But there's a lot of children out here who are coming from parents that aren't educated. If you're a kid that growing up on the welfare system, right, in poverty, in the hood, your parents come from, you said Muskegee, Michigan or Alabama, something like that. You said some crazy shit, Mississippi,
Muskegon, Michigan.
Muskegee, Michigan, something like that. Tuskegee, Alabama,
Shouts
Muskegee,
out to Grand
Michigan.
Rapids,
It's
Muskegon.
right, right, right. There you go. So my people come from Paul. But no,
Right.
for real, listen. So when you have people that come from nothingness and they have nobody to teach them anything, right? And there's no structure. It's very hard to tell someone what they could accomplish when they haven't seen anyone around them accomplish it. When you are around people and they say you are what you eat, and so if you go to school in the hood and all your friends is from the hood and your uncles gang bang or dope dealers, pimps, hustlers, whatever the case, right? Jack boys, whatever, right? And that's all you seeing around in the person that got money. Because to success to a child, a young person is from the hood, they're seeing jewelry, they're seeing cars, they're seeing women. They don't understand the concept of home ownership, uh, having your own businesses and this and that, because your brain's not even developed enough to even be able to grasp that kind of critical thinking doesn't develop at a young age. So if this is what you are being shown, and that's what your big brother's doing, he's robbing, he's looting, he's whatever, he's out there stealing. You're gonna do what you're surrounded by. If your grandfather's educated and got an education, your mother went and got an education. That's
I
the
think
same,
for the most part, people are gonna do what they want to do and what they feel they have to do, right? I was outside with you.
right?
You know that. So before and my mother was educated, my grandfather was educated. Uh, but I think people are gonna do what they want to do, and
But
what they feel is easy for them to get to the next level.
But
Some
still
people
look at
thought,
yourself. But still look at yourself. You're educated and intelligent brother. You can articulate yourself well, and you removed yourself from things that you knew wasn't for you. There's a lot of people who still didn't have that structure. Yeah, even biblically, the Bible say a kid will stray, but he'll always come back to it. If you raise your kids a certain kind of way and you put certain disciplines and intelligence in them and education, and they still have something to look at, like, yeah, you can get caught up in the streets in the way of the world. but you still have something to fall back on and look at, and you have parents and you come from a certain things. They set a certain standard. If you there's plenty of rich kids, right, who will date beneath them, not necessarily beneath them that people are beneath them, but beneath what they are accustomed to. But they know what they're accustomed to, right? They're accustomed, they grew up in luxury vehicles, luxury living. They grew up in living in these areas, so they wouldn't go to certain type of restaurants. They don't do dive bars. They don't like it's certain things that you know, and you might step outside of it a little bit. But at the end of the day, what your parents accustomed you to, right? And they introduce you to, you're gonna go back to it because that is the lifestyle that is the example that's been set for you. Anyone can walk off their path, but I'm telling you, you look at a lot of people, they're in and out of prison, in and out of jail, they're in the system. We already born with all these obstacles in front of us, right? And we don't know how is everybody's always trying to scam or maneuver, finesse themselves through situations, and they're really not tackling any of those obstacles, right? They maneuver through them, but then all of a sudden one day all the obstacles just pile back in front of them, and they're right back where they started because and us the way we grow up, we can't a lot of times we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel because we don't think there is one. Your ceiling, a lot of times people measure their ceiling off of what's around them. You have some people that's intelligent enough to say I want better, I know how to get there. Then other people, like you said, people do what they have to do. And then if you start off a life where you feel like you have to rob, steal, cheat, pimp, sell drugs and do all these things to have clothes to go to school, and you start off life as a criminal, and the people around you glorify being criminals, you're already digging yourself in a hole to where by the time you realize you're 21, 25, and you're thinking about your life, and you're like, damn, this ain't really the life I want to live. I wish I would have did better things when I was younger.
One thing that I always picked up on, you can see it in someone's eyes who has to do what they're doing versus the people who wants to do what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? You can see you just like you can see someone who's a killer. You can see it in his face. You can see it in his eyes, or a person who come from trauma. Parents beating them, mistreating, or parents on drugs. That everybody's tore up in the family, like, and they out here in the world by themselves. Like, we all had homies like that. They just it was hard to tell them, hey, come to school with me, or let's go to Quebec College. I don't know if you knew, but I used to always try to get Baby T to come roll with me to go to Quebec or go to Southwestern. I was fortunate enough to go to school with Kool-Aid and a few other. That's how I met Vanessa. She rolled her eyes, but
not
when
at
I met Vanessa, I was a troubled.
Mac up.
When I met Vanessa at Southwestern College, I was a rotten little boy at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was fighting on campus. I was making dudes tuck in their flags. I was doing all kinds of stuff.
At the
And
school?
and
Oh, Lord.
but education is what really kind of like changed my life, because it's like, you know what? We really behind not being educated. I see all these people working these, all the friends I had in middle school having all these good jobs because they actually stayed in school and became CEO or whatever. And I'm like, I got to change my life, man. This is crazy.
And it clicked
We
for you. And
we
you
we 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 are doing nothing. We doing a bunch of of something for nothing.
and it clicked for you because you are a product of intelligence. Your mother is a doctor. You
Well,
are a
she wasn't
product.
when we was outside. She was not that.
But
She
she was
was.
studying for, but you come from a grandfather who was an educated man to a mother who probably by that time she definitely had a degree on her way to getting her doctorate, right? So it takes all that's like a 10, 12 year journey. So she probably was in college already, if not already finished at least with her bachelor's degree. So I'm saying you come from a product of seeing people doing something with their life, and you just chose to do other things, and then reality still hit you because when you're younger in your younger
This is
years,
why you
it
got to be
doesn't click
careful
for
who
you
you have kids with, because
100%.
because genetics is something else. All the stuff that I was getting into in the streets before I even met my dad, he was doing the same stuff.
A lot
You
of
know
that
what I'm saying?
maternal parent too.
And then growing up,
Baby daddy.
hearing my dad's stories, my uncle's stories and stuff, I felt like I had some shoes to fill in.
Yeah,
But that's
so
another topic that we could talk about,
Yeah.
because there's definitely life after streets. We
I'm
all
a
know that.
I'm 100% proof of it. Some people know they done been down with me. My homies, they know, they see it all the time. I be telling them, listen, I be trying to get them educated on this shit, man. I be telling like, man, come on, bro. Like, they see me. I post my paperwork. I post all the stuff. Me getting my records cleared up. How'd you do it? I send in the information. I got it done for free, for the free ski. The same free attorneys that they give you that you say don't represent you well when you go on to what's it called? I mean, they might have a lot of cases and all that, but I got it done for the free ski from the same people. They went in there and went to bat for me and got it off my records and stuff. So but yeah, there is life after it, but you have to be able to each one teach one. And I try to encourage my homies all the time, like, listen, you got to start preparing yourself for the long run, even if it is just a job today. You have to
Yeah.
learn some kind of skills that can transfer to another job. You have to learn some skills of some kind. And then once you learn some skills and you get around some people you can network with and you just sit back and listen. I've been a chameleon at work and everything. I've been a chameleon. I'm the least paper educated, but the smartest. And I've learned like things that I didn't learn because I didn't do all the, I left the high school and all that kind of stuff at a young age and all that stuff like that. So things that like even really writing complete sentences. People don't understand the concept of being able to write complete sentences and articulate yourself and sound educated. And I work in luxury and I work around people that are mostly white that expect certain things in me. I manage you, I manage your communities. I have to do all these reports, things that you would learn in college and that I didn't learn because I didn't go to college. So, my paper education is this much, but I've expanded it by working jobs. Like I started off, especially being out here, like I started off in fitness sales, right? And graduated to this and that, went to IT and graduated from there to running my own business, right? And learning how that works and working off spreadsheets and filling and plugging in things and working and learning how to do budgets. And then decided to go to real estate school, right? Because real estate school, you only have to have this kind of education and you can have a past history and still be able to do it and get a license doing it. So I said, it sounds like a good opportunity for me. I tell people all the time, figure out what you're good at and exploit it. Me, I know I'm great at sales, building rapport, talking to people. Real estate is a good idea for me. Went into that, learned about property management. The rest is history. Oh, that's the steady income, property management. Sell houses when you can. You can build a six-figure income off property management. Let's jump into that. You got to have a clean background to jump into property management. I did the necessary things, staying out of the way, staying out of trouble, cleaned up my background, and here we are today. And I never had to turn my back on my homies, act like I'm too good for them. I just, tell them to be smarter and I let them see through me that things are possible that you can do. One, through God, two, through discipline, three, through ambition, But all that is a topic for something else, man. We definitely should touch on self-discipline, ambition, and, not being afraid of success, which I think is a lot of things that people are. But as always, peace, love, and sunshine.
Oh, pause. It's Vanessa's birthday.
Oh, today is your birthday already?
Oh, it was
No.
on Monday,
It's
but
on Monday. But I got her a little something. It's a little something something. Happy birthday.
Oh, you got her something from Nothing Bunk Cake?
Yeah.
Vanessa, who you gonna be sharing them cakes with
Thank you.
later?
That's it's like a tumbler, but it's for like alcohol and wine.
oh,
Yeah, so
Be nasty. Be nasty. Who you gonna be sharing them cakes with later?
myself.
happy birthday.
Well, happy upcoming birthday. I'm sure we're gonna hear about it and see about it the whole day in a whole month on the internet.
You know what? I forgot. I got a present for you too, Vanessa.
Oh shit.
What?
That blue light back there? Follow
got a
the light,
present in his
baby.
pants.
Follow the light.
He's got a present in his pants.
God with you.
I mean, he's just trying to look out for you, Vanessa. We know you're lonely sometimes, so.
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah,
She 37 and she 39 and she lonely, fellas.
yeah.
Hey, come with a nothing but cake.
And then you might get some cake. I mean,
Mount Everest ain't got shit on me.
Are we still live? Are we still recording?
Yeah, we up out of here though.